Nothing more fun than when Republicans fight one another. This one's a doozy. It's in Texas. John Cornyn is the current Senate seat holder for the Republican Party in the election that's coming up. Well, Representative Steve Stockman, who's in the House of Representatives, wants to challenge him and is challenging him in the primary. Steve Stockman thinks that Cornyn is a liberal. In fact, he says, "Dear Patriot," in a fundraising letter, "you are in a foxhole fighting to save our constitutional republic, and the last thing you need is a Republican bayonet in your back. But that's what liberal John Cornyn has been doing to you every day." John Cornyn was one of the goofiest, most conservative members of the Senate. To say that he's sticking a liberal bayonet in your back is hilarious. Now, you want to see how goofy a conservative John Cornyn is? These are the ads he ran in his last election.
He came down off the bench after doing his time. He fought heathens and hellions and all kinds of crime. He was just getting started, and a long ways to go. We sent him to Washington to the really big show, Big John. Big John, Big John. Big Bad John.
Okay, you can't beat that, right? Big Goofball John. Right? No, Representative Steve Stockman can beat that. Now, let me show you some of his tweets in the past. He said, "Will abortion be the only medical procedure not waitlisted and rationed under Obamacare?" He says next, "Democrats oppose cookies in schools because they may be unhealthy, support unregulated abortion clinics." That is the strangest analogy I've ever heard, okay, but not surprising coming from the wild ramblings of Steve Stockman, but they're nothing compared to my favorite quote from Steve Stockman. He says, "The best thing about Earth is if you poke holes in it, oil and gas come out." You're going to be shocked to find out he doesn't believe in global warming or man-made climate change. And Steve Stockman thinks, well, the good Lord wouldn't have put the oil there if he didn't want us to poke holes in the ground and get it out, right? Well, then the good Lord wouldn't have put the sun up there if he didn't want us to use solar energy. But Steve Stockman hasn't thought that through. Well, between these two goofballs, who's going to win? Turns out it's not really a contest. Are you ready for this? So far in the polling, Big Bad John is giving a big bad beating to Steve Stockman. 50-6. That's a 44% beating, man. That's an open-handed slap, boy. What are you going to do about that? The only thing that I like better than that is the actual number that Stockman has, 6%. And that's among Republicans.